Yo, what is up, guys? UFC Sacramento just wrapped up, and I'm here, James Keller MMA. I'm going to be giving you guys my full card breakdown, my immediate reaction to each and every fight. And guys, that was an overall great fight night card. A fun night of a bunch of decent scraps, a bunch of good finishes, ending it off with the back and forth scrap between ROBO-COP and Anthony Hernandez. It was a fun night, okay? I enjoyed myself immensely, and I'm here to recap exactly what happened. Break down each and every fight, starting with the main event. We had Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodriguez, and this fight was a fun back and forth scrap. A lot of people thought Anthony Hernandez was going to have a lot more success with the grappling than he did. I think Gregory Rodriguez stuffed like 30-something takedowns. He stuffed all the takedowns of Anthony Hernandez except for like a couple. And Anthony Hernandez was not able to defend the leg kicks at all. Gregory Rodriguez was landing the big leg kicks, landing good shots upstairs. The power was the big difference. The power, the takedown defense, and also Gregory Rodriguez's ability to stay within the fight in these later rounds. His cardio looked amazing. He looked like he was not getting tired in those later rounds like we were all assuming. And to my surprise, to a lot of our surprise, he ends up winning the decision. Ends up winning, I think, 4 rounds to 1. You could argue 3-2 maybe, but Gregory Rodriguez kind of dominates Anthony Hernandez. Like I said, in the first round, stuffs all the takedowns, lands the cleaner shots on the feet. Second round, starts hurting him bad with the leg kicks, drops him multiple times, I think, with leg kicks. I think he dropped him like 3 times with the leg kicks. But in that second round, Anthony Hernandez did end up having a bit of a comeback at the end of the round, started landing some shots of his own. And then in that third round, I think that was the clearest round for Anthony Hernandez. He was keeping that wrestling range, not staying on the outside of Gregory Rodriguez's strikes, because when they were at that striking range, Hernandez, man, he couldn't land. He was getting tagged with big leg kicks, getting tagged with big shots, getting hurt on the feet. Gregory Rodriguez looked very good, man. He looked very, very good. He looked like a guy that could give a lot of people issues at 185. If he's going out there with that 5-round cardio, the ability to keep a fight on the feet like he did against Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez looked kind of small in there. And I'm a big fan of Anthony Hernandez. We're all high on this guy. We all think that he's really, really good. A lot of people were picking him to beat Sean Strickland not too long ago. But dude, this loss, 2 losses in a row now. And after the fight, he was at the post-fight interview, he was talking all about like whatever. I was injured. I was injured 7 months going in there. I'm not making any excuses. I was injured 7 months though, going in there. Also, ROBO-COP was cheating. That motherfucker's a dirty cheater. Like, this dude's making so many excuses for getting your ass beat by ROBO-COP. Why don't you learn how to defend a leg kick? What's your excuse for that? What's your excuse for getting absolutely chopped to the legs for the entire fight, for the entire 5 rounds? You ate like, 50 plus leg kicks. Gregory ROBO-COP landed 243 strikes. What's your excuse for that? What's your excuse for not defending the strikes of Gregory ROBO-COP Rodriguez? Like, great performance though for Gregory ROBO-COP Rodriguez. Wins the unanimous decision. You love to see it. A fun fight though, a fun scrap. Anthony Hernandez definitely lost dominantly, but there was no moments where he looked like he was actually going to get finished or going to get put away. Was able to keep in there, keeping Gregory ROBO-COP Rodriguez's face. But yeah, I really was not rating Anthony Hernandez's performance too highly. Like, he was desperately shooting for takedowns over and over and over again. Majority of this fight, he was just pushing Gregory up against the fence. And you guys fucking hate when, you hate when somebody else does that. You hate when Islam does that, or you hate when, who's that one dude? Mario Bautista does that to Jose Aldo, and I do too. But then when Anthony Hernandez does it, you guys are all like, oh, he's a grinder, dude. This dude's just a pace putter, man. He just likes to put you in that grind zone of wrestling and put you up. But no, bro. Like, this dude, that shit was boring as fuck. Stop pushing Gregory Rodriguez up against the fence. Like, come on. I'm actually happy Gregory Rodriguez won against this, fence pusher. Moving on to our next fight. We got Vitor Petrino taking on Serghi Spivac. And, man, I got this fight wrong. I thought that the heavyweight experience of Serghi Spivac was going to be the difference in this fight. But I think I forgot that heavyweight's terrible. This dude was ranked, I think, top 5 at one point. He's top 10 right now, and he's an absolute blob. I don't know how heavyweight got to this point where these guys are absolute cans. But Vitor Petrino goes out there and just absolutely wins clearly. Wins on the feet, wins in the grappling, takes Serghi Spivac down. Serghi Spivac just looked terrible. This dude looked like a blob, looked like a guy who should not be ranked top 10 in heavyweight. And Vitor Petrino gets a good win, but still, like, I don't know. I'm not rating heavyweight Vitor Petrino too highly just yet. I know he's got some good wins against Asplund and against Thomas Peterson, but I don't know. It was a good win against Serghi Spivac, but dude, I think that these heavyweights are just not very good. And we're seeing this new gen, this new resurgence, and they're going to come take over these younger, faster heavyweights. Moving on to our feature fight, we have Reiner de Ridder versus Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze might be the dumbest fighter of all time. This dude's IQ is in the negatives. He goes in there against Reiner de Ridder, which I predicted this happening. My predictions on this card were absolutely perfect. I'm like some genie with this stuff because I knew Roman Dolidze was going to try and get in the grappling entanglements, the leg entanglements with Reiner de Ridder. I didn't think he was going to go out there and pull guard within the first minute of the fight. Pulls guard, looks for a leg lock on Reiner de Ridder, and Reiner de Ridder ends up just finding the ground and pound TKO. It's just like, all right, you can look to lock up my leg and put me in a knee bar, but I'm just going to ground your pound your ass out, bro. Ground him. I'm just going to hit you until you're fucking done. Like, he literally just smashed his ass, got his back, got him in full mount. And yeah, just was landing clean elbows. I don't know, if you're a professional MMA fighter, never pull guard, never pull the fight to where you're on your back. Like, you're choosing to do that, especially against an elite grappler like Reiner de Ridder. Holy shit. But yeah, I wasn't thinking that this light heavyweight debut was going to be too much of a test for him. And it wasn't. Reiner de Ridder gets the first round finish. Let's match him up against a real light heavyweight. Let's match him up against a big ass dude. Moving on. Man, this... God, I love watching back-to-back cards where your goats just keep getting slimed out. It started with Mektebek Orablai, gets choked out unconscious, and then our boy Mason Jones goes out there and gets put away brutally with like 4 vicious elbows in the second round. Now, I will say, I'm a Mason Jones glazer. He doesn't have the best striking defense. We all know this, but I feel like we all kind of, we don't talk about it. Right, we kind of don't talk about it. It's something that is just kind of unsaid, just because we know that, you know, he's gonna go in there. He might get caught a little bit, but he's gonna bring a fun fight. He never been finished before this fight, and he goes in there and gets absolutely blasted with like 4 elbows. Keeps his head just right on the center line, doesn't move it at all. And by the second round, Marquel Mederos lines up. One big elbow, another big elbow, another. It just keeps lining up these elbows because Mason Jones is basically out on his feet from the first one. Like, this dude has very little head movement, and after he got caught, rocked, he kept getting caught and rocked, and he was just standing there like this with his head up. And I knew something bad was going to happen. I knew he was going to get put away. He wasn't moving his head. He was getting caught. And the commentators, bro, the commentary crew, they were all like, damn, that's a good jab by Mason Jones. Oh, look at Mason Jones. He's landing. And then he would get cracked by a big right hand by Marquel Mederos. So he'd get cracked by a big elbow, and they wouldn't even say anything. They'd just be like. So yeah, the commentary crew needs to lock in. You need to get your boy James Keller MMA on the booth. But damn, like, fuck. I hate to see Mason Jones get slimed out. But I feel like if you were watching that fight, after the first round, you could kind of tell what was going to happen. Like, I'm not too big of a fan of Marquel Mederos, but he's good, man. He's good, and he's sharp, and he's clean enough to pick up on the read that Mason Jones isn't going to move his fucking head. So he's just going to keep cutting angles. He cut the angle, found the big elbow, landed it bad, rocked Mason Jones. Mason Jones has a fucking chin on him. Because even though he got rocked with like 5 big elbows and then followed up with a big boxing combo from Marquel Mederos, he was still on his feet. He was like out cold, but on his feet. And literally, I don't think you're gonna have to kill Mason Jones to put him out. And I feel like that's going to be one of the bad fucking parts about Mason Jones. Like, he always comes to scrap. He always comes to bring a war, but I don't want to see him get hit, man. I don't want to see him go through the war. I want to see him put it on. I wanted to see him land the big elbows on Marquel Mederos. Okay? But nah. Ends up getting put away in the second round. Brutal to see. Moving on to our next fight. We got Carli Judice taking on Jeisla Chaves. And Carli Judice ends up getting the first round TKO. Carli Judice looks clean. Looks good on the feet. I think she knocks her out with the right hand. And yeah, Jeisla Chaves, we kind of expected this fight to go the way it went. I think we had Carli Judice for a first round KO. And that's exactly what happened. There was a difference on the feet, man. This girl Carli Judice has just outshone all of her opponents. She goes in there and is just an absolute killer, except for that one fight on the Dana White Contender Series where that girl showed her some problems. I'm trying to think of that girl's name. Who is that? Man, I don't know. But Carli Judice just keeps melting her opponents at women's flyweight. Goes out there, puts Jeisla Chaves away in the first round. I think that's her now third finish in the UFC. Third or fourth or second finish. And I think that Carli Judice needs to get a step up in competition. Maybe push her up to the top 15. Maybe push her up to like the top 12, top 13 at women's flyweight. Now, I will say this girl doesn't look the most physically, I'll say gifted. I just don't think that she's that big for women's flyweight. Like, you see some of these girls, they're big and athletic. They have some muscle definition, like, Valentina Shevchenko, some other strong women's flyweights. But Carli Judice, she just kind of looks a little skinny, and I feel like she might get out-muscled, outworked if she gets faced against a bigger, stronger, just denser 125er and gets put in that grappling clinic like I don't even know any dominant grapplers at women's 125. But if she gets put against one of them, it could be some issues. I'm just saying. We haven't really seen her get tested with the grappling. She's shown some good grappling defense in her previous fights, but again, those are against some of the lesser women's flyweights. And Carli Judice, man, she's a future contender. We need to start pushing her up. Moving on, speaking of future contenders, man, Anthony Wint versus Terrance Chatman. Anthony Wint goes out there and puts Terrance Chatman away with the arm triangle choke in the first round. Nobody was expecting that. Everyone thought this was going to be a first round KO for my boy Anthony Wint. And it was a first round submission. So really flips the script on us. But we knew this dude was going to finish Terrance Chatman. Terrance Chatman, man, like, why are you so fat at heavyweight? All these heavyweights are so fat. They're such blobs. This dude had to cut down from 260. To make 265. And Terrance Chatman, he doesn't look bad. On the feet, these guys kind of were not doing much for the first 4 minutes of the fight. Kind of just, playing the range game. I think they both landed. Yeah, Terrance Chatman landed 2 strikes. It says Anthony Wint landed 46, but those were all on the ground. Anthony Wint gets the fight to the ground. And yeah, Terrance Chatman locked up a Kimura, though, from bottom when they were on the ground. And it was locked up. He couldn't finish it, though. But I was worried for a second. I was like, damn, please don't break my boy Anthony Wint's arm. That would absolutely suck right here. But nah, Anthony Wint ends up finding the arm triangle and puts Terrance Chatman to sleep, out cold. I heard some people are saying that he fake going out cold to instead of tapping just to get out of the arm triangle. But nah, I don't think he fake going out cold. I think he got put out. Look at this dude, Anthony Wint, man. This dude's an absolute hydrogen bomb. Has some wicked squeeze, I imagine, with those massive ass arms. And yeah, gets an easy first round finish. Moves now to 8-0. Definitely would love to see this dude return maybe early next year, maybe early 2027, January, or maybe end of the year. And let's see him against an actual UFC heavyweight. Let's see him against a guy that's actually been on the roster. I can't think of a guy right now, but I don't know. They brought up Terrance Chatman from the regional scene to face this dude for I don't know what reasons. But yeah, Anthony Wint gets him out of in the first round. Moving on to the first fight on the prelims. The feature fight on the prelims, excuse me. Jamall Emmers fraud checks Lerryan Douglas, man. Lerryan Douglas Everybody was on this dude's hype train, after his UFC debut where he knocked out Juliana Rosas with the jab. But he goes out there and just cannot find Jamall Emmers. Jamall Emmers does a great job of evading the big shots of Lerryan Douglas, fading on the outside, moving back and forth, moving left and right, not getting hit by anything. And then later on in the first round, Jamall Emmers catches Lerryan Douglas with a big right hand, a big two, right down the pipe and just drops him. Lerryan crumbles up in a ball and finishes him from there. This dude was like a plus 400, plus 500 underdog. So holy shit, man. Absolute bangs, absolute cashes. Everybody was picking Lerryan Douglas, though. I was picking Lerryan Douglas. I think this dude was my lock of the card. Which, man, I'm sorry for all you guys that were picking this dude because of me. Jamall Emmers, 37-year-old Jamall Emmers pulls it off. Gets it done in the first round by KO. Now, Lerryan Douglas, I definitely think he definitely can come back. This isn't a career-ending performance by any means. But he definitely is going to need to build his stock back. Definitely is going to take a hit. Because Jamall Emmers is 37 years old, has experienced some losses inside the UFC to not the best competition. But yeah, great win for Jamall Emmers. Great win. Way to put Lerryan Douglas out cold. Earn some more respect on his name. Speaking of earning some respect, we have Shamil Gaziev knocking out Kennedy and Nzechukwu in the first round. Kennedy and Nzechukwu comes out there looking like prime MVP. He adapted the prime MVP style of, I'm going to bounce in and out with my hands down. And instead of bouncing in and out with his hands down, he gets his head bounced off the canvas by Shamil Gaziev, the big old blob. Lands a big old right hand right on the chin of Kennedy and Nzechukwu. Knocks him out, spins him around. He gets knocked out, bounces off the fence, bounces off the ground, out cold, face down on the canvas. Shout out to the blob. Holy shit, shout out to the blob. I should have seen this coming. I thought that Kennedy and Nzechukwu was going to be able to keep the range, keep the distance. This dude's very, very tall, very, very lengthy, but not what are we doing? What are we actually doing? You're trying to roll with the punches of Shamil Gaziev with your hands down. This dude's literally a blob, and you get knocked down in the first round. Shout out to Shamil Gaziev, though. Probably the best knockout we saw all night. Flatlines him out cold. Like I said, bounces him off the cage, bounces him off the ground. Love to see it. Love to see a one-punch flatline KO. Shout out to the blob. I love you. Moving on. We have Chris Padilla finishing Nasrat Haqparast late in the third round, literally with 0 seconds left on the clock. And honestly, it says Chris Padilla was landed 125 strikes throughout this fight. I had Nasrat Haqparast up 2-0 going into that third round, just based on the fact that I don't think Chris Padilla was landing too much of volume. He wasn't doing too much throughout those first two rounds. That first round especially, he was way less on activity. Second round, he kind of picked it up, was kind of walking Nasrat Haqparast down more than he was getting walked down. But that third round, he really put it on him, really started picking up that pace. Hurt Nasrat Haqparast bad, dropped him to his back. I thought that's where he was going to finish the fight. Was landing some good ground and pound shots. But after Nasrat Haqparast got up, there was 2 minutes left in the fight. I was like, yeah, it's over. He didn't finish him from there. And especially when there was 20 seconds left in the fight and they were in the clinch, I was like, yeah, it's going to go to Nasrat Haqparast by decision, 2-1. But then Chris Padilla ends up locking up this head and arm triangle, standing head and arm triangle, locks it up tight. I'm like, oh shit, this is tight. He could put him out, out on his feet, but then whips him to the ground, takes his ass to the ground. As soon as the bell rings, he lets go and he's out cold. He's out cold. They stop the fight. Absolute dog comeback performance by Chris Padilla. You love to see it. This dude's dangerous. This dude has that killer instinct, looking to finish fights, looking to hurt you, not looking to let this fight go to a decision and maybe risk losing on the judges' scorecards. Puts Nasrat Haqparast away with literally 0 seconds to go. It says 4:59 on the clock. This is now Nasrat Haqparast's second loss in a row by brutal finish. He got slimed out by Kulan Salukil with that head kick. Now he's getting put to sleep with that head and arm choke, which, not too much, not as damaging as the head kick, I will say. But still, this dude Nasrat Haqparast used to be something. But Chris Padilla now moves to, I think, 5-0 inside the UFC, 5-0-1, which he should be 6-0. Has that win over Marquel Mederos, who just got that slime out over Mason Jones. So, this dude, Chris Padilla, definitely a guy you should be looking out for. Moving on. Moving on to our next fight. Marcio Barbosa versus Ryan Kuse. Predicted this fight perfectly. I said Ryan Kuse is just not built for this UFC level. He might be, that's no disrespect to Ryan Kuse. He was taking on a hydrogen bomb in Marcio Barbosa, but dude, he had nothing from Marcio Barbosa. Goes out there, circles on the back foot, all the way until he gets caught with a left hook right on the temple, drops to his back, kind of like is pulling guard, and then the ref just stops. The ref's like, all right, we're done. I would have liked to see the ref let him back to his feet. The ref definitely saw more than I could see. I think that maybe his eyes were rolling back in his head or something, but Ryan Kuse is just not this UFC caliber guy. Like Marcio Barbosa, I think that was his 16th knockout. Now moves to 17-2, I think. Come on. This dude Marcio Barbosa is a hydrogen bomb. And if you're not some athletic specimen, if you do not have some, gifted talents in any aspect, in the power, in the athleticism, I don't feel like you're going to eventually get matched up against somebody like that, somebody with that gift. You're not going to be on the A side too much in the UFC. And Ryan Kuse gets slammed out bad first round. Not even that bad, just kind of clipped with the left hook, falls to his back, and then they finish the fight. Moving on. Man, I'm standing my Dorsainvil as we speak. Stan Dorsainvil, UFC debut on 10 days notice, goes out there and has this should have won fight of the night. The absolute gritty comeback win against Gage Young. Gage Young goes out there in the first round, and it looks like these two dudes are on a whole nother level. Gage Young's tagging him up, hurts him bad, I think drops him with something big in the end of the first round. But it looks like Gage Young's just going to work this dude until he's finished. He's landing big shots, catching him with counters. But Stan Dorsainvil comes out there in the second round and just starts walking down Gage Young, giving no fucks, landing big shots. Stan Dorsainvil was doing the better job of landing big shots at range. They would clinch up, land a big combo, both of them, and then when Gage Young would be exiting out, Stan Dorsainvil would be able to land a big shot as they would be breaking. And Stan Dorsainvil hurts Gage Young in the second round, drops him, ends up finding that takedown at the end of the round. So I had it 1-1 going into the third. In that third round, Stan Dorsainvil puts it on him, tags him up, lights up Gage Young. Had the better, fresher cardio, which I really did not expect coming in there on 10 days notice. But I really think it was just the pressure, the one pushing the forward pace, the one on the front foot. Gage Young was looking tired after that second round. You could really tell that the tides have shifted. Gage Young, when he was in that corner going into that third round, he was looking all down. His coaches were all pissed off. But yeah, Stan Dorsainvil ends up getting the unanimous decision win. I think he definitely deserved it. Won 2 rounds, clearly, in my opinion. Some people are saying it's a robbery. I don't know what the hell you were watching. But Stan Dorsainvil gets it done on 10 days notice, makes his UFC debut, moves now to 6-0. This dude's working at Home Depot. Shout out to the drill. We love to see it. Making dreams come true. Moving on to our next fight, we had Wes Schultz taking on Jackson McVee. Why are these dudes both wearing the same shorts? They already look similar enough. I literally cannot tell these dudes apart. But Jackson McVee goes out there, gets the round 1 KO. I said he was going to be able to do that if he was able to stuff the takedowns. He wasn't able to stuff the takedowns, though. He actually got taken down. Wes Schultz was looking for submissions, but Jackson McVee was able to defend them, get back to his feet, then find that knee to the body. Knee to the body, crumbles Wes Schultz. Puts him away in the first round. Man, Wes Schultz just has no ability to absorb strikes. And Jackson McVee finds that knee right to the body. Puts him away, crumbles him. Shout out Jackson McVee. Does exactly what you need to do against Wes Schultz. Puts him away in the first round. Moving on to our first fight of the night. We have Chanel Dyer. Chanel Dyer puts away Elise Reed in the third round after an absolute beat down throughout the first two. Like, my friend, when me and my friend were watching this, he was saying that they could have stopped it in between the corners, which in between the rounds, in between rounds 2 and 3 from the corner, which I didn't think they should have stopped it, but Elise Reed was getting her ass kicked. She was getting tagged up from range, getting tagged up with the boxing combos, hit with big shots, and then when they would break and be at long range, she would get smacked with the head kick. She got smacked with I don't even know, 10 head kicks. It says Chanel Dyer landed 139 strikes throughout the 3 rounds. Ends up finding that third round TKO up against the fence. Man, Elise Reed definitely is a grit grinder, able to work her way through the fight and not get finished, but I don't know, man. Had nothing for our girl Chanel Dyer. We all kind of expected that. Chanel now moves to 8-1 or 9-1, I think. Elise Reed moves now to 8-6. So yeah, shout out to Chanel Dyer. Gets the finish like we all expected. This girl's a finisher, like Carli Judice. These girls are looking to go out there and put on fun fights, put on good performances, and look for finishes. Not just looking to win decisions, not just looking to get their points and win a unanimous decision and go home. No, they're looking to actually inflict some damage. Like Chanel Dyer was hurting Elise Reed, hurting her in the second, hurting her in the first, hurting her bad in that third round. And Elise Reed's face was all bloody, all messed up. Ends up finding the third round finish. Overall, though, a great night. I love this UFC Sacramento fight night. A great fun night. I love seeing Anthony Hernandez coping and complaining after the fight, crying about his loss. Why don't you learn how to defend some leg kicks, my boy? Why don't you learn how to defend some leg kicks? What are we talking about? But yeah, shout out to all you guys for watching this video. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be making sure to catch you guys in the next one. I'm going to be making a full Dana White Contender Series prediction video for the new one that's coming out tomorrow or on Tuesday, excuse me. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Peace.